historian at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Prof, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you, my brother.
A party that goes to the polls, internal polls, of course, would have some cracks here and there. I believe it is a building back agenda that has to take preeminence now, or prominence rather, as a party builds towards 2028. Would you say that based on everything that happened, the statement made by the candidates on Saturday shows that everything is fine, the party can now go ahead with its internal processes ahead of election 2028? Does that make the party formidable enough, I mean?
Thank you very much, my brother. I think we may consider such happenings and state performances as window dressing. Remember, they would have to be diplomatic. They would have to show a sign of unity, but showing a sign of unity or having the knowledge of unity without action to really actualize that tendency would not necessarily trickle down to the masses and also allow them to pursue such cause, especially when they still not have a better turn with what happened in one of the constituencies. Now they talk about the lead minority person in parliament, right? The challenge they have has been unity. It will remain a question, a puzzle they need to resolve. Look, in the course leading up to the contest, you realize that there was bad blood. People, were hired in many ways to speak against some candidates, one candidate or the other. Intentionally, it went on. And some of these key actors, especially the vice president himself, ought to have come out to say that, look, people come out to say A or B against person A or B, and my name is put out there as being in support of that, and I am not in support of that. There was not a single instance or day Dr. For example, Bawumia came out to say that this should not continue. So they've had their spoils in the course of their journey, and it came about severally through bad blood, and it happened because, if you like, acrimony, the use of foul language, attacks on candidates and all that were permitted. And in the name of politics, do you have to decide to get into that state where there is disregard and honor to a person or an individual's name or future? So fundamentally, the party has a challenge. The challenge also has been a historical one. I've talked about the jettisoning of Paula Wintani Afuku, engineer Kwabneji Japan, and all that. The kind of fire which had started within the MPP was going to have a bigger fire in the foreseeable future. The chief beneficiaries of this were Mr. Akufo-Addo, His Excellency, and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. It fed them power in 2016, 2017. They formed government, stayed in power for 8 years. And I still think that the top-down approach proponents who won the day through block voting are not happy with what happened in Winnipeg. And that is why sometimes this brouhaha and conversation is going on around town about why that did not happen. It is because in that area, block voting did not suffice. There was nobody there to champion the top-down proponents, to allow the generals who went to war with the MPP and lost miserably in 2024 to hold on to power. And so once that did not happen, they see it as a glitch, and that gentleman must be punished for that glitch. It is sad, it is detrimental to Ghana's democracy, because the MPP itself is not looking at how they can be formidable. They are looking at how they can retain power internally. For much ado about nothing.
So moving forward, what should Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia do? Because he is now the leader of the party.
He is now the leader of the party.
What does he have to do?
In many sense, but I'm thinking who will become the chairman of the party. possibly and potentially the real leader of the party, unless the constitution of the party has changed. How are they going to have telepathy? So he needs to, he should be willing to allow for transparency in the bottom-up elections. I'm driving at something. And not get involved in who becomes, who in terms of positions. And allow the people themselves, the electoral college themselves, to elect individuals they are happy with. So that out of excitement, out of, if you like, their own zeal and commitment toward the party, throw their support behind Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
But if you don't, as a leader, manipulate or at least have an interest and work towards that interest being achieved, where you have an executive that aligns with you, you then have a party that becomes ungovernable. And then the issue of Polafoko and Kwabena Jepong, Samir Crab will then repeat, so that you have a flag bearer who is seen to be a loggerhead with the national executives. Yeah. That becomes a problem. So perhaps
this is why I want to push back.
Maybe people wanted to cure this. That's why they said, choose a flag bearer first. Then the flag bearer would have a say in who becomes the chairman and whoever runs the party. That way, it's better. So I'm surprised you are saying he should not be involved at all.
I'm happy to put an icing on my cake. I'm rather happy to put an icing on my cake. The very essence of the current election and the block voting you see. If politics is in this science, then you are putting an icing on my cake. It's been my argument. The outcome you saw, the nature of the vote pattern. Definitely, the proponents of the top-down approach would want to finish the deal down there. 200,000 will not translate into 2 million votes unless the will of the people therein are also respected, because it is democracy. I would agree that as a party leader, you would have to come across as somebody who is coming with some popular acclamation, even though we are talking about democratic elections, and that's what they're going to do. But if it is by popular acclamation, you'll be seeing something like 70-30%. You'll be seeing at least 65 thereabout. But for the block voting, in my estimation, would have had a very slim, if you like, win. Why would they have a problem with Afenyo Market? Some people have a problem with Mr. Afenyo Market. Because the top-down proponents were not able to, if you like, actualize their expectations in that area,
very well.
At that area. So fundamentally, there are cracks in the MPP.
Okay.
The strategy has been to hijack the party, and so it will translate down your point as an icing to my cake. And what would happen is that they would hold on to power within the party, but they may have another run or a third run, like Mr. Akufo-Addo did, went thrice. And that has been the prophecy of Dr. Bawumia. I guess that's where they are leading or heading toward.
Thank you.
Thank
you so much for speaking to us, Prof.
You're welcome.
That's Professor Samuel Adu-Gyamfi. He's a political historian with the KNUST. Let me speak now to the party.